Again, it's your boy Cormega, and I want to do something slightly different this evening. I recently played a round of bullet games, and I played a number of games against a very strong player. He's called Addicted to the Rush. He's from India. Really, really good player, and he whooped my behind several times. This game is the fourth after about 3 games in a row that I lost at Bullet Chess. So I'm very proud of this game because I got one back at least, and I thought it was a very instructive game. And it's not teaching anything new. It's basically reiterating one of the core fundamentals of the game. And I always tell people that look, you can learn fancy openings, you can learn theory, you can do all that stuff, but the core will always be the core. The fundamentals are so important. And in this game, I think what was emphasized, what was sort of showcased was the importance of developing quickly. When you start the game, you're meant to develop your pieces, protect your king by castling, and then take up real estate in the center of the board, and then obviously work on a plan. But sometimes I think we get carried away with our own abilities as we begin to improve. And I think that was what happened to my opponent. He became complacent and didn't follow the rules. So I'm going to just quickly play through this so that you can see what I'm talking about. Uh, Here we go. So yeah, the game was a bullet game. I played with 98.5% accuracy. One brilliant move, hey, and with a strength of 2,650. That doesn't happen all the time. It's bullet chess, so sometimes you'll play it right, sometimes you won't. Now let's start the review. I kicked off with e4, the king's pawn opening. I never deviate from my main openings. I always play e4. If I get bored, I might play d4, c4, g3, but this is my staple. And I think it's important that you have one or two openings that you know to the nth degree as black and as white. He responds with e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5. He plays knight f6, the Berlin defense. I think that's what this is called. It's been a while since I've, studied any theory, but I think they call this the Berlin defense for black. Anyways, I think it's a solid opening for black. It's a solid response to e4. A lot of GMs play it these days. But I'm not trying to out theory my opponent. I'm just trying to be as practical as possible. So I take the knight on c6 with my bishop, doubling up his pawns. Although I'm opening lines for him, to develop his bishop, I still think that what's on my mind at this stage, what's paramount, is developing my pieces and castling as soon as possible. I play d3. He plays bishop c5. I castle. Plays knight to d7. Now, he has broken a fundamental rule in chess. You don't move the same piece twice in the opening. I know I may have broken the rule myself by taking his knight. However, there was an objective to that. This move here doesn't make sense to me because, first of all, it blocks in his bishop. Yeah, he's moving the knight twice, and I don't see what's he doing with this. It looks fancy, or maybe he's thinking of bringing out his queen. Maybe that's what the intention is, but I feel that he's breaking a core principle of the game. Anyways, I continue my development with knight b to d2. He castles. I play b3. The intention is to get my bishop out. Plays rook to e8. I develop my bishop, and I'm eyeing this pawn on e5. He moves his bishop back. You see, all these moves are stylish, but he hasn't really completed his development. I'm almost there. The only thing left for me to do is to move my queen off of this flank here and connect the two rooks, and my development is complete. Anyways, we'll continue. I play knight c4. Now all my pieces are attacking this pawn here, so he defends by playing f6. Computer likes that move. Gave it a good move, star. Now this allows me to bring my knight here. Now I'm breaking a rule here as well, because I'm moving my bishop, or my knight rather, to the edge of the board. Knights are meant to be at the center of the board or directed towards the center. However, because he's played f6, his queen no longer controls that diagonal, and it allows for me to bring my knight here and do some mischievous things on his king side. And that's the objective. It's bullet chess, so it might not be sound, but there is a method to the madness, so to speak. He plays knight c5. I bring my queen to h5. The engine hates that. Says it's a dubious move at best. However, I'm playing a human and it's under bullet conditions, so they might not always respond correctly in the heat of the moment. And if you notice, I've finished developing. My rooks are connected. All my pieces are out. My king is safe. I have obeyed every single principle of the opening in chess. Now, what was his move? He plays g6. G6 is not a very good move here, because it induces and encourages me to play my next move, which is knight times g6, which the engine likes, finally. Anyways, I see that his king seems to be on his own. You know, the queen's way off there, the rook's there. They're not really coordinated towards his defense in any meaningful way. Well, not yet. He can still marshal the forces to come around, but it'll take him some time. And time is something that he doesn't have. He takes, and I take with a check on g6. He moves his bishop to block the check. Time is of the essence. If I allow him to bring his other pieces, he can defend that king side safely, and everything I've done would have come to naught. But the good thing is, I've fully developed all my pieces, and I can marshal them efficiently. I play f4. The computer likes that as well. He takes. I take back with rook times f4. And then he blunders. That's actually a blunder. It's not just an inaccuracy, because what it does is that it opens this diagonal for my bishop, and my queen's already pinned that bishop, and so obviously the next move is mate. But there was really not much he could do at this point. My rook was attacking this pawn, bishop on it. I was going to bring the other rook, you know, behind the rook. My knight was going to jump in at some point. I could have played e5 as well. All my forces were concentrated on his king side, you know, and this is a much stronger player. You can see our ratings. I'm 2,133. He's 2,235. And he had won like 3 games in a row, back to back to back. And, you know, I think he got comfortable and underestimated me, his opponent. That's one thing you don't do in chess. You don't underestimate your opponent. Always obey the core principles of chess. Tell me what you think about the video. If you liked it, please like, comment, leave a comment. Tell me what you think could have been done differently. And share the video to your friends and subscribe. Thank you.